and welcome to the Gaia update for the Gemini new moon that's happening on June 3rd, 2019. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, leading up to this Gemini new moon, where we have the moon and the sun in Gemini, that's the definition of a new moon, and so they're together, and also in Gemini we have Mercury, the ruler of Gemini. Mercury has been in an intense, it comes off just before this full moon. It's been an intense T-square in opposition to Jupiter and a square to Neptune, highlighting this Jupiter-Neptune square that's a big part of the 2019 energies. So we're feeling now these are mutable signs, so it's a mutable T-square, and that has an energy of kind of in the middle, right? It's like mutable signs are adjusters. And Mercury is trying to figure out what's going on and get a grip on a reality. And Neptune has this like really wide, spacious, especially in relationship to Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is an expander. It's like a crystal. This makes whatever it comes into contact with bigger. And so this energy is just pulling on these planets and creating quite a vortex energetic field where all of these energies are highlighted. Our confusion of the mind, which we are still trying to get over since our last Mercury retrograde in Pisces, and that Neptune in Pisces just really activated, bringing us in and out of this other world, it feels like. And that's not helping us get a grip, although it could help us shift our vibrational frequency, and it could help us tap in and tune in to our intuition, our creativity. So that's like some water energy going on. So also leading up to this full moon, we have Neptune has been in trine to the North Node. Really sweet energy around being able to allow yourself to dream something new and see the energy. Now it's almost like, okay, so we've had this opportunity to kind of like invited to dream something new, and like, could I reset my vibration here, and is there new energies coming in, or is it the same old crap, you know? And then comes the Mercury T-square here with Jupiter and Neptune, kind of bringing up the delusions that are in the way of being able to dream something new. So these belief systems, these programming that we have been programmed with since, and it resonates with a Piscean age of using the oneness consciousness, like through religion, to control people. And that you have to make up some lies to do that, right? And we're in an age of disclosure. We can't really go forward on any level and any direction until we get some more truth. And this is coming up for us right now. We're being shown where our delusions are in the way of that Jupiter and Sagittarius getting back on our quest, our spiritual quest. You know, like, what is in the way of you allowing the life you want to come into your life, right? We're done blaming everybody else. This is part of the Capricorn energy, blaming. It's true. There's all kinds of restrictions and obstacles in this world working directly against you, but it's not as powerful as who you are, right? And it's time for us to evolve beyond these energies and get back on that quest and give life meaning again. This is an interesting thing with indigo souls, light worker souls, crystal seeds. It's like lifetimes on earth where you've been gaslit or brainwashed into thinking through constant and continual invalidation and associated karmic traumas and things like that, basically into complete and total denial of this purpose, your spiritual purpose here, right? Oh, no, look over here, distraction, karma, drama, right? And yet inside that you have something bigger you're doing here or will do, or are doing. We don't know. That's the issue with the time we're in right now in this T-square. We just don't know. We're going in this not knowing, going in circles is creating a vortex. But the vortex is allowing us to examine if we choose to, or maybe if we don't even choose to, but we're being shown, popping out of the vortex is these belief systems, these delusions, these lies we've been told, these lies that we are still buying into, that are forming we're allowing to, form our identity, right? Based on what some control energies have told us in past lives, right? And so now it's time to, see these things. And these are collective things too, right? These are conceptual things that are affecting the whole collective consciousness. And, but some of us are holding space in a very conscious way, right? And so that's happening, and these things are coming up so that we can see them and say, hey, that's not me, and get it out of the way so that you can dream something new. So there's a lot of like a really beautiful aspects with Neptune trine the North Node and Venus in sextile to the North Node. Really sweet energy of dreaming, just allowing yourself to feel for a moment a comfortable, sweet, beautiful life. And then dreaming something new with that Neptune trine the North Node. And then, but then we have this mutable T-square being like, oh no, it's not work. Something's just energies in the way, but it's also confusing energy. It's mutable energy. It's like there's an adjustment. We have to change, but we don't know what we need to do to change. We don't know where we want to go even. Like, why even change if you don't even have a direction of where you're going and who you are? And it's just an intense time. It's a shakedown, but underneath all those delusions is the truth, more truth of who we are. And with Chiron and Aries, that's the energy of ultimately of all of this that's going on, is that fight for the true self. And so we're all having this, pop up for us in their own way. Now, we talked about this Jupiter square Neptune. This aspect will be exact in June and later in June. And also the main 2019 aspect of the other main 2019 aspect of Saturn sextile Neptune. So it's a pretty incredibly interesting and potent time. Again, we have something amazingly positive. The Saturn sextile Neptune is like, ooh, creative solutions. We can do this. It's possible, right? We have to just look beyond what we've, and build a new world. And then the Jupiter square Neptune is kind of running up against these delusions and the tension around how we allow ourselves to come back into the visionary, powerful beings that we are, the creators that we are. And do we deserve that? And is that okay? Can we handle it? And so all these stuff is coming up. It's like possibilities of creating what you want and moving into that new energy, and then what's in the way, and we're just kind of in this dance. But it's a very mystical, magical time, and I'll talk more about that. But the month of June is like, whoa, there's a lot going on. The other things going on in June, so after this new moon, this is really interesting because for this new moon, these aspects I just talked about, they come off right before this new moon, and then there's a couple of days while there's not really a lot of transits going on besides the big ones. And so it's an interesting time because we've been like bam, 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 so much going on in so many aspects, and the planet's just a little a pinball game. And now it's kind of like a breath. And that happens right after this Gemini new moon. And so we have 2 days where we're not feeling any of the aspects with the closer in planets. And, but right after that, okay, so after this new moon, though, the one thing that does happen is that the moon quickly comes into an opposition with Jupiter. So it's highlighting these issues of our quest and our journey, and is it okay for us to, so the moon represents our emotional wounds and emotional energy. And so it's talking about pain, sadness, grief, maybe from past lives or this life, around not being able to have your spiritual quests. You're here, you made all this effort for thousands of lifetimes and many evolutions. You're completely driven to be here, to be a part of this amazing experience, and yet you feel lost and there's nobody around you that feels this way, and you have no idea what it is you're supposed to be doing, and you feel, just like you don't deserve the good things in life. It's just, this is the whole story of this type of soul, what's going on right now. And so it's really important, this Jupiter in Sagittarius, and it's important that we feel these feelings so that we enact our spiritual will that's in alignment with our higher self. And just point in the direction, right? We all think, I have to go create some big thing, and then I'll be, then that thing is created, then I'll, have accomplished, something in this world. And it's like, that is a conditional. That's a conditional energy. Something has to be created in this world, in this physical world, for you to know that you're worthwhile or you did what you're here to do. It's totally, it's kind of sticky, but really, the minute you step on your path, like you really head in this direction, even if you don't really know where you're going, but you're like, hey, I know I came here to do this, something more in alignment, true to who I am, right? This is this Chiron in Aries, and you gotta use your will or put your rudder, you deserve it, break down the lies and delusions and get on the track, so you don't have to create that big thing. You just have to be on the way to it. Right? Because really, we kind of already created it, if time is an illusion. So we can go visit that place and be like, oh, whew, we created this magical new earth, cool. It's happening. You're holding that in your ideal, you're using your spiritual, and just pointing in that direction is going to make you feel so much better. And that's what Jupiter and Sagittarius is trying to get us to do. And it's coming up against all of this confusion and breakdown and ego death and all this stuff. So right after this new moon, and this is significant since we're not feeling so many transits during this time, the moon comes into that opposition with Jupiter and bringing up emotions. So this is really the energy of this new moon. It's grief and sadness. It's changing our perspective, but also dealing with grief and sadness around not doing all these lifetimes where we haven't been able to do what we really would like to be doing here. And we gotta let that go. It might be like a burden energy just holding us back, feeling guilty, feeling failure. These are really common feelings that could come up, for the indigo soul right now. But anyway, so we're kind of shedding that, right? We're gonna let that go. And then the week after this new moon, the sun comes into an opposition with Jupiter, right? So it's like, bam, bam, we're just having this, and then that just starts this crazy energy of June, which is that Jupiter square Neptune exact, Saturn sextile Neptune exact, and at the same time, Mars is going to be first opposing. Mars actually comes up on the North Node, then opposes Saturn, then opposes Pluto. And so that's going to be happening all the way from like the week after the new moon until the 22nd. Till summer solstice. So we're kind of in a portal window moving up to the summer solstice, and Mars is going to be like, okay, let's do this, and what's in the way? And that has to do with where we've given our power away and our authority away, and it's all coming up for review, and it's going to be shown to us in the month of June, and then it's up to us what we're going to do with it. And so we'll stick together and work through, be here present for this. I hope you can join me for the Gemini new moon activation. It's going to be on Sunday, June 2nd at 4 p.m. Mountain time. And so we will come together there. If you can't join at the live time, you can watch the replay. Your intention to join kind of brings out the messages that you need to hear, and so you can just catch the replay. It's $10, and we'll show up together. We're going to talk through some of these energies and create a sacred space for us to go ahead and have a guided meditation together to clear and heal and receive and any messages or or healing or blessings that are available for us in this incredibly potent time. So thanks for paying attention and being who you are and showing up and being here on the planet right now. It's a beautiful thing. So I look forward to seeing you at that new moon activation, or until next time, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.